Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and as you can see from the cover screen, we updated our deck, but we dropped a couple of ranks, but you know, that's fine. Them's the breaks for a no epic, legendary or adventure run. I don't think I'll be getting anywhere until I fill out this deck. Let's just see, 30 cards at 40 dust each is 1200. Yeah, 1200. So the minimum cost of this deck will probably be around 1200. Max out at 30 cards at 30 rare cards at 3000 gold. So 1200 to 3000. Fairly cheap. Should I have kept that? I don't know. Fairly cheap in the grand scheme of things if you think about how much a warrior costs. And let me see. I'll put it in the show notes. Well, let's develop this. Oops. Yep. CF wallet. So I'll look in one of the net decking sites. I never visit them because I could not care less about net decking. But say like a slam bash warrior and how much it costs, and I'll put that in the show notes just as a comparison, you know, of how much a slam bash warrior costs as opposed to my rank 18 2 stars rogue budget deck that will max out at 3k. And this is really, you know, you might be thinking, why isn't No Dust running a face hunter deck? And I very well could run a face hunter deck, and I could probably take it to rank 5. But like, what's the fun in that, man? Like, you got to play. Like, I would have no fun. Basically, I would have zero fun running a face hunter deck. I would have zero fun crushing people with face hunter because there's no. For me, there is no feeling of accomplishment. It just feels cheap to. Feels cheap. It's like stealing wins. It feels cheap to take people out with face hunters. So it's just not my. It's not my MO. Not my modus operandi. Weapon blood sale? Yeah, why not? Like I said, it's always good to save card draw for as late as possible. Do I swing? My hand is quite awkward. I think I probably do swing, since his health is already pretty low. And he'll be using 3 health again to clear one of my guys. The other consideration for Gnomish is that it's outside of Warlock's range, but he probably wouldn't have Warlock's Gnomish anyway. He would have Warlock's the Shattered Sun, so it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing. Pyro Coin gives me 4 mana remaining. Yeah, Pyro Coin Gnomish. Okay. Do I even need to do that? Yeah, why not? I don't particularly want to take 5 face damage. Pyro Coin Gnomish, and I have to do it in this order so that the Gnomish doesn't get damaged. And next turn I probably will be weaponing up. I'll be 3 and then 3 Buccaneer weapon up. You can often think of Buccaneer as a 3-drop, or play the Buccaneer and weapon up, and it's a very efficient 3-drop if you think about it. Okay, I think I'll still be doing the weapon up, even though my board is very weak to the AoE. His health is ridiculously low at the moment. Ooh, that's even better actually. Giving me a 4/4 weapon and really allowing me to put a lot of damage onto his face. And this gives me more board control than the vanilla weapon up would. And him using 4 damage on my face when I'm at 30 is fine. I'll take that any day of the week. He has to trigger the Death Bite. And he's not actually hitting something with it, he's hitting me with it, so he's getting the Death Bite value is reduced. Okay, that's fine. Backstab, don't want to backstab. I will sprint to draw. 3, 4. Okay, do I want to clear? No, I don't want to spend. One of the great ways to counter Acolyte of Pain is to not have anything on board. And he can't trigger the pain. He can't trigger the Acolyte without his own AoE effects, and if he does that, he'll just be wasting them. See, the Cruel Task doesn't allow the Acolyte to reach anything. It's just to draw a card and deal a bit of damage to my face. But face damage to me is basically inconsequential at the moment since I have so much health. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Some sort of combo deck. Okay. Okay, that makes it even. You're gonna draw a lot of cards, but you're gonna draw a lot of cards. Excellent. I think I'll just sap this mofo and do this. I'll go to face. I will control the board with my. So he spent 2 cruel tasks and a rampage on that acolyte, and I sapped all of that back. So it's like I consider a battle cry like half the card's cost. So that's 1 full card plus another full card. So it took away three mana from his play. It was a 3 mana tempo swing plus 2 cards and an additional like 4 mana. So it was like a 7 mana sap. In these situations, in buff situations, when you're sapping things back to hand, it would be great. Sap is great, and so would have the. Also, the Spellbreak would have also been great in that situation. Now he's just replaying. That's really, really slow. I don't think you're going to survive, my friend. No, so he's going to try and draw into some answers. I don't know if you can. He doesn't have any armor. He might have to armor up Shield Slam. He's not going to be able to execute anything. This is clearly a combo, like a gimmicky combo warrior with Charge, Raging Worgen, deal 16 damage in 1 turn, maybe even like 24 damage in 1 turn. A little too gimmicky because you give up. I think for a deck like this, you need a little bit more early game. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're doing here. Yeah, so if you fall behind, you end up having to use combo pieces to deal with the board, and it's really problematic. Okay, we're done. Okay. And the win-loss system as it is, we are not back to rank 17, but I do expect us to be able to get back there within fairly short order. So yeah, I just want to test this deck out, so let's hop right back in. Okay, Pally, another favourable matchup for us. And we're going to start strong again. I'm very happy with that. Buccaneer is also a great answer to things like Shielded Minibot. It's a little complex to explain, but being able to gain a 2/2 weapon on turn 2 is ridiculous. As Rogue, and slow hero power classes like Paladin often have issues dealing with the Buccaneer. What can he do? He needs a charge minion, which is like a Stone Tusk Ball, but that's about it, and I don't think he'll have that in a Pally deck. So this thing will do a lot of work for me, and I'm not afraid of using a 2/2 weapon to clear a 2/1 or whatever. Tempo is the name of the game in Rogue, not face damage. Face damage comes after you win the tempo game. So let's see how we go. Okay, he's just going to pass. Interesting. Do I ooze for tempo? Ooze for tempo. No. So then now comes the difficult questions, and I'll save the charge. Do I ooze for tempo, or do I just develop my weapon? I think I actually do develop my weapon here, because I should actually take the opportunity to gain maximum value from Dagger Mastery. A 2/2 weapon, if you compare it to Shaman's, the Shocking War, the Shaman's War Axe, which is a 2 mana overload 1 2/3 weapon, it's very similar. So I'm not paying any. It's not costing me a card to gain extra stabby. Didn't even know it was extra stabby. That's funny. It's not costing me anything it's not costing me any cards. So my hero power essentially gains its full value. Okay, that's good. I'm kind of glad I saved the Swampoos. He clearly has some sort of game plan based around the Light's Justice. Am I going to swing? No, I'm not going to swing. I want to save the value of this 2/2 dagger. It can deal so much work. It can do so much work. It can kill knife jugglers. Can kill any 3/2, and it doesn't overload me. So it's actually an even better card than the quote unquote card than the Shaman's overloaded axe thing. I don't forget the name of because I never play it. Yeah, so I really like Buccaneer. It's been a core part of my rogue strategies on my primary account, well, no longer primary account, because I spend so much time on this account. But my primary account, I hit about rank 5 with it without too much trouble. Okay, do I draw? Yeah, I might as well. I'll bait out the swing. This thing gets value anyway. It's fine. There wasn't any other play to make, and it sets me up nicely for a turn 5/6 play, and then I can fan if he has a muster. Has he got a swing muster? That's a turn that I definitely would consider. No, okay. Okay. I could do this actually. I think I will do this. I want to clear the shredder, and I have backstab to deal with. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to use the backstab. And we have very strong board presence. And since the Pelly's board clear consecration 4 mana, deal 2 to all enemies is quite expensive. Dealing 2 to 4 for 4 mana is a little overpriced. Having said that, though, dealing 1 for 3 mana is also a little overpriced. But because Rogue's such a combo and tempo-oriented deck, Fan is definitely better for tempo. Whereas Consecration by itself isn't so good by itself. You'd really need to combo it with Equality, Consecration, or some sort of spell power, but then again it becomes really slow if you play spell power such as Asia Drake. That's a 9 mana combo. It's really slow and you don't actually do too much to the board. So yeah, presenting a bunch of small things to Paladin in the mid game isn't too bad an idea. It forces them to consecrate. If he consecrates, he only has 1 mana remaining, making his turn very, very, very slow, giving me a chance to develop my Ogre. Although Ogre is weak to Eldor, maybe I might want to consider playing Silverhand. Yeah, okay, no, that's fine, that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. I already got value off the... keep wanting to call this Bone Guard Valiant. Okay, now I will just develop this. And I will save my 2/1 dagger because it still has another card's worth of value in it. It will still clear another 2-drop, or you know, do work against another 2-drop. It's not. This isn't likely to come down to a race for health-wise. Pellys don't tend to have a lot of burst, and there's my target for either my backstab or my. Yep, that's fine. Still, I can still deal with that. Okay, he could have gotten a lucky juggle there to run it into my cavalries here. Okay, it's the humility there. I was expecting that a little bit. I may actually silence my Ogre. Yeah, I may actually silence my Ogre to give it the health. To give it the attack back, which makes my Spellbreaker into a 4 for a 9/3. Basically, if I silence the Ogre. Which, again, Spellbreaker is a great card against things like to silence your own minions. I don't usually think about this, but against Eldor, against Equality, if he doesn't manage to clear it, against Humility, as he just played just then, not too bad a card. Yeah, so I will be backstabbing. And I'll use my Argent Horse Rider to take 3 damage, and I'll take the 2 damage. It's just basic. I'll silence, and actually I won't buff the Ogre. My reasoning here is that he'll be very much inclined to clear the Ogre. So if I buff something that's not the Ogre, if he spends time clearing the Ogre, the other stuff will be alive. My general approach to buffing minions is not to buff the strongest minion, but to buff another minion out of a certain key damage range. And well, since I only had 2 minions on board, I was obviously going to buff the Spellbreaker. But if I say I had a 2 health minion, I would have buffed that more likely to buff it out of Consecration range. And this also incidentally is out of Hammer of Wrath range, which we know he runs in his deck. If he runs 1, he probably runs 2. So it means that we're sitting pretty. How much damage are we showing? 14. We can't quite finish yet, but if he doesn't have an answer to this board and this Ogre, we are going to finish the game. So yeah, again, this deck is coming through. It's got a lot of the pieces that I'm used to having on my primary Rogue account. What else do I have on my primary account? I might spend some time showing you guys if I get a chance. Come on, roping at rank 17. Come on, man, hurry up. If I get a chance, I'll show you guys what my primary Rogue account is and just laddering with my primary Rogue. You know, no budget, no worries. Maybe that's the name. That'll be the name for my no budget, no worries. Did you get the okay? That's some expensive removal right there. You missed it. Okay. Are we done? Are we done? 11, 14. Hold on. 14, 16, and plus 1 more. I think we're done. Yeah. Let me just double count. 16 plus. Yeah, we're done. That's one of the disadvantages to roping. if your turn turns out to unintentional alliteration, if your turn if it so happens that your turn takes a little bit longer than usual, like the animations for your turn, so this is especially pertinent when we're talking about patron and so on and so forth, you may actually run out of time. You may actually rope before you get to do all your stuff. So I think roping, I mean, taking the time to think about your turn is fine and all, but if you rope yourself and you run out of time to do things, then you're actually impacting your ability to play the game. Another Hunter. I'm always happy to face up against Hunter. So I'll put something in the show notes about new series, no budget, no worries. And I'd like to hear you guys feedback on whether you'd like to see this series, like a no budget, no worries series. So no budget, I can play whatever the hell I want, and I can run my rogue deck as high as I can. Probably, actually, having thought about that, I might save that for next season. So season 1 will be the no dust, no worries, and season 2 may be the no budget, no worries. And I will actually show you guys how I play my deck, and how, once again, ooze for tempo, how I play my deck, and how far I can get with it. I've never hit legend. I'll be the first to admit it. I've never hit legend. I think that the time investment is too high. If you look at how much I play, actually the amount that I play on camera is basically about 85 to 90% of my playtime, and I mean that's about it. You know, there's nothing more to it. So I can't really fit in that many games. Okay, let's just test. Best to test when he doesn't. Oh, that's actually great. The freezing, the scientist pulling out the freezing leads to an unintentional effect. And I'll test for explosive. Is it a bear? No, it's not a bar. And I'll develop my blood cell. If it's not a bar, it's not a bar. It's probably a snakes. Okay, I'll pick it down to snakes. So those are freezing snakes, but the acidic swamp ooze is going to do so much work for me when... Yep, this is a snakes, but guess what? I have a perfect answer to snakes. Backstab. And yeah, let's swing. I can probably play this again if it's another freezing. Yep, that's fine. And it's actually pretty good for me to play that as a freezing. So it's snakes. It's definitely snakes. Do I want to swing? Is this likely to come down to a health raise? I don't think at the moment it is, but it may do. But I'm not going to be able to weapon up next turn. More likely that I'll swing next turn, so I can play a 4-drop and then weapon up turn 6. So yeah, I think that's my line of play. I'm going to hold my weapon until next turn and think about it then. Yeah, often against hunters, you will want to swing. You will want to get as much value from your weapon as possible. But I'm sitting at a comfortable health total, and I have refreshment benders to top me up if I need to. There we go. So this is a perfect weapon up. I'm losing value on the heal here, but it's more important to develop something against this board. He's spent both freezings. I have to keep that in mind. If you run 2 freezings, you probably and he probably runs 2 snakes. He probably doesn't have explosives. Sorry, my mind just sort of blanked there. Okay. Do I clear the sludge? Yeah, I do. Oh, there's the snakes. That's fine. That's not too big a deal. Yeah. And I'll use this. He'll have to use the majority of his snakes to run into my guys. So I've got 5 health showing on the board, and he has 4 attack showing on the board. So that's not too bad for me. And I can start using my weapon to clear a whole load of them. And you know, he didn't get value with the knife juggler. That's the main concern with snakes. Snakes itself is not a bad trap. It's fairly good value, but it gains insane value when comboed with knife juggler. Okay, Dr. 7. What are we gonna do? Dr. 7's that's always the problem, isn't it? Do I sprint? No.
Here we go.
I clear the beasts. This is what I do. I clear the beasts, and then I will have some funnel cakes. Yeah, I think that's the best line of play. Everything else is a little bit awkward, and I do know that he has a weapon in hand. If you run that many traps, you definitely run the eagle horn. So I'm going to save the ooze. I can force tank next turn, or I can sprint to gain some more resources. But once again, card draw. The later you play it, the closer you are to 10 mana that you play it, the more effective it is. So I'm going to save that. Yeah, so he's going to control the board. That's not too bad. He's going to hope for some good bombs. Okay, let's see how this goes. This is a 50-50. Yes, nice. And I'll happily take the 7 damage to face to clear the top to boom. Okay, that's going to be problematic. This is like a mid-range control hunter. I'm surprised not to see any Elix in here. Oh, Dark Iron is great. Do I want Dark Iron though? Dark Iron weapon hit. Yeah, I think I do. It's quite awkward, and I can't afford to take damage from the high main. But it will probably go face. I'm probably going to need to find some extra damage there. Don't know where it's going to come from. Yeah, the problem with budget decks is they tend to be quite slow. The faster cards, such as Blade Flurries, such as well, in Rogue at least, such as Blade Flurry, such as what else is there? Well, mainly Blade Flurry, I think. You chomped my face. Okay, it looks, and you floated 4 mana. That's interesting. I'm definitely doing this. I can't afford to take the 6 damage to face, given how he's playing. This is great, actually. The Squire attend me is great, and I will swing now because it's going to come down to a. Come down to a damage race, which I am currently losing, so I have to put in as much damage as possible. Although my Squire attend me is doing a lot of work, a better swing card to replace this, which I do not have access to, is Sludge Belcher. Sludge Belcher is actually quite potent in a rogue deck if you're running oils and if you're running Cold Bloods. But we are not running Sludge Belcher because it is an adventure. So again, this is sort of an experiment to see how many resources has Blizzard locked up in the form of epics, legendaries, and adventures. How far can I get without access to those resources that I'm so used to having? That's the question. Okay, I definitely will ooze this, and I think that I will sap the Mad Scientist. Again, sapping the Mad Scientist gives me another chance for him to draw a secret in his hand and for the Mad Scientist to whiff. And again, it takes away his opportunity of attacking it into my ooze and gaining value. At current board state, he has to run the Crocolisk in, which isn't too bad for me. And yeah, so he has to redevelop the Mad Scientist. We're probably going to lose, but I've learnt quite a lot about facing this sort of deck. So it's never too bad. Okay, I have to sprint here. My force tank is too slow. Okay, I think I might have to hope for a Doomsayer or something along those lines. But I'm pretty much dead. Okay, that's 6 damage. I'm pretty much dead. If he's got any sort of burn, hunters don't have one damage burn. I'm going down. So it's okay. It's okay. Them's the breaks on the ladder. Sometimes you run into crazy powerful things, and there we go. That's the power of the Elic. Playing the Elic late, and if you win the joust, you get to play your heavily costed high mana card for tons of value, especially when you have no card draw. Okay, well played. Let's record a loss. That's okay. I think we've been going. We're still at just barely above 50%. I'm not too upset about that. Let's do one more game. I want to see where we can take this deck. One more game. If we drop down to rank 18 2 stars, that's fine. I won't have to change my overlay, change the thumbnail to the video. So maybe it's a good thing if we drop down to rank 18 2 stars. Although perhaps a little bit embarrassing, but again, as I said before, this is an experiment, not a climb to legend. I have no claim to being able to climb to legend. I have no interest in being able to actually climbing to legend, because I think it'll take me probably about 200 games to do so, even on my regular deck. This is a great hand. So So yeah, nothing of the sort. But I am interested in seeing how far this deck can get within the context of a Hearthstone season that's month long, and midway through the season we're going to start getting some League of Explorers cards. So I'd actually like to hear what you guys think about the League of Explorers. If you've checked out the deck lists, there are a number of reviews going up, and as I said before, I'm not a fan of card reviews, especially with all these new mechanics. You really don't know how it's going to play out until you actually have the cards in hand. I would actually probably review the cards or do some spotlights on certain cards after I've played a couple of games with them and seen that they're strong, because doing reviews, it's like, hey, it's fun, you build hype, but like, it's really just like filler. For me, it's filler. I used to like watching card reviews because there's hype, but like the League of Explorers is coming out so soon, and I've explained why I think it's coming out so soon, e.g. less time to earn gold through quests, more chance of spending actual money on it. That was a great 4-drop pickup. 1-draw Acolyte is always the name of the game. Yeah, so I'm not very interested, but your time's your own. But these days I'm a little bit flat out with content production and keeping the channel running, that I don't have time to watch card reviews. I don't even have time to look through the cards. That may be foolish of me, since I'm a Hearthstone focused channel, but you don't like it, go somewhere else, basically. Okay, I think I will develop Buccaneer here. Like I said before, Buccaneer, weapon up as a 3-mana combo is so powerful, gains so much value. And if the Buccaneer stays alive, which is more likely since he just spent his cruel task on executing a 4/4, I can weapon up again and just keep renewing that value every turn. It's so powerful. Such a powerful card. Even though, in TGT, Inspire has been the name of the game. Oh, that's so good. Do I want to equip it now? And no. I want to gain more value. So I didn't want to lose that 2/2/2/1 dagger charge, so that's often a consideration you'll have, whether to because you can only attack once per turn. You can only attack with a weapon once per turn unless you have a Wind Fury weapon. And the only class that has Wind Fury weapons, Shaman, and something you pull from Blingtron. And Blingtron is a 5-mana, I think, 3/4 that equips a weapon for both players. So there's a chance that you pull a Blingtron out of that. I'm just going to go past. I'm just going to be aggressive. Since he clearly, I'm making the call that he doesn't have a deal 1 damage, like a Whirlwind or something like that, and he spent a cruel task. This thing's going to actually have to run to the tournament attendee. So my 1-drop is going to block 3 damage and take up a 5-drops turn, which is excellent. Like, that's the purpose of Taunt. Okay, I don't care. You want to do that? That's fine with me as well. I don't think he has enough to clear. If he had Whirlwind, he would have played it. I wouldn't have played a Black Knight into a tournament attendee. I definitely would have played Whirlwind in that situation. Yep, well played. Hey, we got a win. So actually, I have to do a little bit more work to update. Let me do a print screen here, actually. Yes, letting you into the veil. I'm going to have to do a little bit more work, but hey, winning makes me happy, so it's all good in the end. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. We're actually making a little bit more progress. Thanks in advance for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I do this for love. Any gesture of appreciation from you guys means a lot to me. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful and lovely day and weekend coming up. This is No Dust signing off.